Now it's time to cut the pieces to length. So as a review, the two long ones here and here are exactly 10. The short ones here and here are 5.5. All right. Here at this chop saw, it doesn't have the fancy dial in and it goes to the proper spot. However, it'll still get there. So here on the left side is the stop. Now this doesn't go all the way down to 5.5 for my short pieces, but if we simply add 10 inches to that measurement, that'd be 15.5. We set this with this little tiny hairline at exactly 15.5, and I put in a 10-inch spacer. Now that's exactly 5.5 inches. Now before you cut, we need to square the end, and that means lightly trim the end off. So I'm going to put it here, and I'm right-handed, but I'm still going to use my left hand to cut because I don't want to cross my arms. That would be awkward and unsafe. So I'm going to hold it with my right, bring it down, and you should see the shadow of the blade. So I'm just going to lightly trim. Hold on so this doesn't move. Okay. Now that I know this end is square, I can slide down, and now I can hold it with my left and use my right hand to do the cut. And I know that's 5.5. Lay that aside, and we need 2 of them, so I can get both out of the same piece. So there's my 2 5.5s. Now I could do exactly the same thing for these 10 inchers. I'd simply come over here, set it to 20, that's 10 plus another 10, and there's the 10 inches that I need, and I would do the same cutting. Or if you prefer, you could do all of your cutting on this saw. Turn it on, and I can just simply set 10. And of course, I could have done the 5.5s here too. That's up to you. And I'm going to trim the end off first. See how I did both of these at the same time? That's fine as long as you stack them straight. Slide it down. There's 10, and make your cut. So now I've got all 4 pieces, and we can move on from there. Now you might now be thinking, wait a second, Mr. Ellefson, you cut all your pieces, but you still have that big one left for the middle, the divider. That's true, and there's a reason that I haven't cut it yet. After I assemble, I do the routers I'm about to show you. I want to make absolutely sure that the piece I'm cutting fits. It could be a little different if you have to recut or something didn't work or we had to change some things. So I want to keep that long for now. This step, we're going to use shaper number 1 at my nice big round white table in the front of the shop. And we're going to do what's called a rabbet. It's got a rabbeting bit in there. We're going to put the rabbets on the long pieces of wood only. And even it says right here, both ends of long pieces only. This is originally set up for drawers with that birch plywood I mentioned. So it's the same thing. Long pieces right here. End is here. This is an edge. That's an end. So please understand the difference. Don't be running it through this way. You'll have to start over. Now I have 2 push sticks. One of them says 3/4 thick. The other one says 1/2 inch thick. We want the 1/2 inch. That's your backing board. All this piece does is it keeps this piece from shifting around left and right. So as you're cutting, it's safer because it's not moving. I can keep my hands away from the bit too. This is loud and annoying, but as I'm cutting, if you go too slow, you're going to get a big burn on the sides. So you want to go fast enough. So watch and see. Hold it down. Flip it around and blow all the sawdust out of the way. And you end up with a nice rabbet joint where this piece fits right in. So it should fit perfectly in there like that. Now you may have noticed that I actually went backwards on this router. That helps clean it up because it does get a little bit of messy on the side here. But this is the only router you can do that on, okay, because it's open-ended. There's another story behind that, but I'll explain later. Blow the sawdust away, do the other piece. Take a step clockwise and we'll come to shaper number 2. It's called a plow bit. It's a dado, but whatever you want to call it, it's the same thing. This does the bottom edge of all 4 of these. So these are my 4 box pieces. And we're going to put a groove along the bottom edge for the bottom to fit inside. So that means these rabbets that you just finished have to go down and put it against here. Now, you'll notice there's a bit of a spacer here. If it isn't here, make sure to go find it. There's no reason to have a big space. This is for another project. So I put this in as an auxiliary to help with this small project. Turn it on and just push it across. There's no push stick for this. Now it gets really clogged with sawdust, so you simply tap it and it comes right out. Like I mentioned before, do not go backwards with this. Don't do it.